Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Good evening, Mission Pro family. I am Mindrunner. Welcome to Mission Pro Spotlight. And with me, of course, she is the most dangerous, most lethal woman in all of Color Guard with a kendo stick flag. It is, of course, Angel Marie. Angel, how you doing?
I'm doing great tonight. I'm freaking so excited for our guest. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped. I know these two girls really well. We've talked and we've said so much crazy stuff to each other at Mission Pro Show. So I am super excited to welcome Morgan and Nova to the podcast.
Super excited. The most badass tag team out there. Path of Destruction. No one is safe. Nobody survives unless they choose to let you live. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on our guest at this time.
Ladies, super cool.
I saw that. Pretty cool.
Yeah, who would have thought Barry Manilow had a metal side to him? You know,
that's a deep cut that I didn't know about. I mean, you look like a man that likes his Barry Manilow.
Well, like Mariah Carey had her grunge album, and didn't Garth Brooks? He tried a grunge album. Kenny G and Barry Manilow, they tried a little metal. It didn't work out for their fan base.
Kenny G stands for grunge? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, it stands for Guar, actually. Kenny G stands for Guar, but didn't quite work out. Sisters of Destruction. The chat is going wild for you. Sisters, I love my girls. Yeah! It is, Phantasm says it is the badasses of anti-heroes who do what they want. When they want.
Easy for you to say.
And we got Charles B. already wants to know what your finishers are. And we'll get into all of that very soon. But first, we got to highlight Morgan. Got to talk about your shirt. Now, granted, I don't want to diss the Rangers at all. The Texas Rangers, we got to acknowledge. But Barbarian.
Hey, it's one of my favorite shirts. It was a gift from a friend. And I mean, it's just the perfect shirt for me. I wear this shirt all the time.
That is so cool. That. In fact, don't show that to Heidi Howitzer. She may want to gimmick infringement on that shirt there.
Hey, she'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands.
There you go. Well, Mission Pro family, you know them as the Mission Pro Tag Team Champions. I popped and marked out so bad when they cashed in that, just like I predicted, they cashed in because they cashed in the Mission Pro Cup, became the well-deserved Mission Pro Tag Team Champions, and they have been leaving their victims in their wake all over the scene. And when Mission Pro returns, we know the destruction will continue. Super stoked. But if there are some of you out there that are still yet unfamiliar with the Sisters of Destruction, Nova Phoenix and Morgan Mercy, let us partake in one of our usual segments. Totally ripped off of Sean Evans from Hot Ones, but don't tell him,
at least you're honest.
He's doing fine without it. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Insta Insanity with Fire and Fury.
Welcome! It's Insta Insanity!
All right, it's time. That definitely said it's good impression, right?
Great impression.
Awesome. All right, JR. Thank you, JR. Let's go to Instant Insanity. Now, we have scoured. Morgan's done this before with Dynamite Download. But, Nova, this is going to be new to you. But we have scoured both of your Instagrams and Twitters to find tasteful but select photos that require a little background story from y'all to get to know both of you a lot better. And let's get to the first photo here. All right, so
I told you.
So Morgan.
There's a fun story with this. That's why I laughed.
All right, so I'm sure there is, but before the FBI investigates what kind of serial killer this could be, Morgan, why don't you tell us a little bit about this photo capture from a video that's on your Instagram?
So, I've been out to Lubbock, Texas a few times, and randomly it's at a point on I-20. So what it actually is and what you're seeing are mannequins that are hoisting a crucifix like Iwo Jima. You can't really see it from this screenshot, but in the background is the highway. We are up on a mountain that me and a couple other people decided to climb one day on our way to a show. We still had to wrestle after this too. So, we're
as you do.
Listen, we should have never been on this mountain. No business up there. We're all in slides. We're like, we should have known when we had to jump a rusty barbed wire fence that it was not going to be a good time. But it also should have been the venomous spider we saw, the loose rocks towards the top of the mountain that you have to crawl on your hands and feet. Not to mention that it is just covered in cactuses. Like absolutely covered in cactuses. So we had to carve a path up this mountain, destroying cactuses along the way. Every tree you try and grab is dead, so it comes right out of the mountain. And if you fall, you're done. Because it's just cactuses. But yeah, so these are what I affectionately refer to as the babies. Because the first time I saw them traveling 80 miles an hour down the highway, you catch a glimpse of them, and I'm like, I swear I just saw baby dolls on top of that mountain. It took 2 years, but the time we went up there was when Nova was with us, and she was the smart one.
Yep.
What made you the smart one, Nova? What did you you didn't bother with the climbing the gravel mountain and smashing cactus or cacti?
Okay, so when she decided that everyone else decided to pull up against the highway,
I decided.
Yeah, she did. I actually was dealing with a knee issue, so I really honestly couldn't climb the mountain if I tried. So I just let them have their little fun, and they came down and graded every bit of it.
We were only covered in multiple needles, like bleeding from various parts of our bodies.
All right, so
fun.
Which would you rather take, a cactus bump or tax?
Tax. I'd rather take that.
I've never really done either, but if it's the cactuses that were on that mountain, thumbtacks all day.
Yeah, the thumbtacks
they were like the air needles.
Pulling out. Those are needles. They could go deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not
all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's going on in there? That seems like in probably like a gym, I'm supposing.
Oh, okay. So this is actually a couple of years ago. Of course, y'all can see that is Jazz. WWE legend. Yes, that's right. Trust me. So this was actually one of her seminars I did with her at DFW All Pro and up here in Dallas. She actually just taught us a lot that day, and I don't get to see her that often because I did. Her and her husband Rodney were in the same locker rooms as my dad back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So every time I get to see her, now again, I was trying to make sure to get a picture because you never know when may not see them again. So that's what that's for.
That's cool. That's cool.
The Jazz, the Phenom. I'd love to see her show up at Mission Pro again. She had one of the coolest things was Maddie Rinkowski, the now Ren Sinclair. Her first match in Mission Pro at the first Mission Pro event in Genesis was against Jazz, and it was a pretty awesome match. I highly recommend you go check it out. TitleMatchNetwork.com, and make sure you check it out. But Jazz just seems like such a cool mentor. And what's it like under the Jazz learning tree?
I would say it's you learn a lot, but it's tough. It's also very tough as well, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the students at Dogtown now, they're going through a lot. But trust me, the harder it is, the better you get at the end of the training session. And trust me, she gave me some pointers and some tough love that I needed. So I always appreciate tough love. And sometimes I might think I might be good. Nah, her I didn't know.
Do you guys give each other tough love?
Well,
Nope.
What's that?
Do you guys have to give each other tough love?
Oh, the both of us, me and Nova.
Yeah, because you guys
Absolutely.
you guys seem to click really well.
Oh yeah. So I mean, we train together weekly too. So I'm always, lighting a fire under her ass. She's always lighting a fire under mine. So you know how it is.
Awesome.
And well, trust me, I need it sometimes. So I know she's always there to have my back. So
We got the Phantom says a couple things. One, he says that eventually you guys are going to get to meet Hunter the Wonder Dog, but also wants to say congratulations on beating Carmichael because she had nothing against both of you. I think Shay Carmichael, and she teamed with
Riza Clark.
Yeah, so you guys took them both on, so that was pretty cool. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But speaking of legends, we got a nice photo here. What a couple of dream boats here.
Perfect. Love that. As you can see, it's back when I was blonde, long time ago. But so when I was first breaking in, Tommy Dreamer had come to my home promotion of MPX in Bedford, DFW area, and one of my favorite stories is I had a match, and I was they were working the knee, and he looked at me and he's just like, "What happened to you?" And I'm like, "Oh, brother, it's just part of the job." He was so tickled by it. But yeah, I had to make sure I got a picture with him because, like Nova said, you never know when you're not going to see him again. And I haven't seen him since. He's been busy, busy guy.
Has been busy.
Oh, wow! Who's this man over here?
It's like she's so happy.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of y'all, I know, right? Okay, so the gentleman in the picture is actually my better half. We've been together now 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. His name is Dexter Hardaway. He has retired from wrestling in 2021. He's been wrestling since 1999.
Wow.
So that's actually a picture during the winter storm. Probably wasn't a good idea, but
actually, it's a really nice picture of you. I was gonna say that when it came up.
Thank you.
Dexter. It's okay.
If y'all know my better half, you'll see why she says that.
It seems like you're keeping him warm. The Nova fire is probably the only thing keeping him warm in this picture.
Sure, it is actually because he's not very fond of the cold. So I'm more like today up here in Dallas is like supposedly like 40 something degrees. I was just wearing a pullover and shirt. So like everyone's like, it's cold out here. No, it's not. I'm used to work.
I'm the same way.
Well, speaking of other halves, I also like this picture right here. What's going on in this photo?
So this is from Halloween a couple years ago, and we decided to go as I don't know if you've ever seen The Owl House. It's a show on Disney. It had a very short run. A lot of queer representation. If you ever get a chance, it's really a show. But these are two of the main characters, Luce and Amity. And I think I made a pretty good Amity. I didn't think I could rock a lavender wig like that, but here we are. I still have those boots too. I worked hard on this.
You might have to dig out the lavender wig again at a show at some point. That might be pretty.
Nobody will know who it is.
Well,
I look totally different.
That's how you can cheat in a battle royal. Is if you get eliminated, just come out in a wig and be a different gimmick.
I love that.
Like, oh, here I am. I'm from the Owl Club. That's so cool. That's pretty awesome though. And the shoes and everything, good stuff.
Oh yeah. Listen, we worked hard on it.
Looks very awesome. No, I think this belongs to you.
Very pink. Very, very pink.
Okay, so that's actually
me too the first time I saw it.
Well, there's a reason. So that is actually my gear bag now. My better half, Dexter, got it for me for Christmas because I used to have the old school handbag, gym bag. So he got me that. Reason why it is pink is because sometimes our gear bags get mixed up because they're the same color or people just don't pay attention. So I wanted one that was bright enough to where, like, okay, that's Noah's bag. Do not touch it.
Courtney in the chat says very Barbie vibes. That could be the Barbarian.
Sure.
Maybe new
theme.
gimmick colors. You guys should come out as the Barbarians.
Listen, pink doesn't work with my skin tone like that. Your t-shirt, fine.
We have a running. Well, I would say it's actually started as kind of a gripe that we have in WWE that's turned into kind of a running joke. Angel Marie, we talk about, because WWE has, in our opinion, 3 of the most badass female wrestlers as a faction that has the worst name. I think Sonya Deville.
Pure Fusion Collective, like, really, it didn't stick with us at first. Even especially like me, I was talking about like, what the heck is the name Pure Fusion Collective? It sounds like a smoothie. So instead, in homage to Chapel Roan, I renamed them the Pink Pony Club, and so that's what they've been known as ever since on the Spotlight podcast.
So anytime we talk about, we think we can nominate this luggage too. The Pink Pony Club Fusion.
My man was prepared.
He always is.
That is pretty awesome though. And what's cool too is it's like that's kind of like somebody that sees that luggage, they might be like, oh, this is going to be this is probably some tiny Barbie that's just not going to.
Oh, I think it's yours bag every time I see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, who wears a bunch of pink?
Now we've talked about this one before in Dynamite Download, but Morgan, let's talk again. This is of course the mecca for all wrestlers doing the indie circuit. But this group of ruffians right here, Morgan.
So it's the Texas wrestling license. You get your picture with Bucky.
Yep.
Some people are against Bucky, and listen, I have beef with those people, and they know who they are. But this is from earlier this year, beginning of this year, for a trip to Mississippi. And on the left is Angel Camacho, then Nate Collins, and Rook Tyler. So Rook Tyler and I are both members of Stage Dive Mafia. We're we do stuff in like West Texas. And so we've been on the road a couple of times. I've been on the road with Nate a lot. That was my first trip with Angel. And listen, that man snores like no other. I've never heard a man snore so loud in my entire life. And he'll admit it too. He knows. He warned us when we were, 2 hours in to an 8-hour drive. Like, hey guys, just so you know, I snore really loud. Like, cool. I have no chance now. I can't turn around.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the many trips to Buc-ee's. I think we had just randomly stopped to go to the bathroom or something. But yeah, it's always necessary to get your picture with Bucky.
You got it. That's a landmark. What do you have a go-to item that you got to get at Buc-ee's, or like is the Bucky nuggets?
Lately, it's been the yogurt pretzels. Those are just so slay. Like they have a raspberry one, they have a strawberry one. The raspberry's the best one though. Those are the gummy worms. Like, listen, I like something I can sit and chew on for a while. That way, I don't eat as much of it. Like chips, they just go way too fast.
Yeah.
Beaver nuggets, I just destroy those. Car rides are long, so I need something that's going to last, so I don't have to keep stopping.
Yeah.
How about you, Nova? What's your go-to Buc-ee's experience?
For me, it's not as healthy as Morgan's. Probably the chicken. Probably, honestly, every time I go, I don't usually eat. I'm not a snack person, so the only time I usually stop there is like she said, go to the bathroom or get chicken strips and fries. Or body armor, or something to drink. Pretty much, I'm not really a snack person. But anyway,
their club melt is dope, though. I love their club melt. Like, I know they got the brisket sandwiches, but listen, that club melt has gotten me coming real clutch.
So good. They know what they're doing. I love it when people experience Buc-ee's for the first time. They're like, this is a gas station? Oh, yeah.
I have an old video on my phone somewhere of a friend of mine from up north. And this is back in my rugby days. We were traveling for a game, and I was like, you've never been to Buc-ee's? Oh my God, we have to go. And so I have a video of her pulling in and just being amazed at the amount of gas pumps. Still one of my favorite things on my phone.
Yeah. Very cool.
Oh, look at the little kitties. So explain who all of these little kitties are, because I freaking love cats. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so as y'all know, most of y'all should know by now, I am a cat mom. And we actually have 3 cats. The white one, the calico, and the black one. The 2 black cats are the same cat. The white one, his name is Blanca. That's our oldest at 9 years old. Shira is 6. Onyx is a year old. He's my baby, the only boy. And the little black and white tuxedo one, her name is, we called her Biscuit. She's actually a rescue that we had rescued out of the street in front of my house.
Cool.
Her and her brother Mustache.
That's awesome.
So she actually lives with one of Dex's friends up in Oklahoma now. So I only have 3, but I also have a cat colony outside the house. So
a cat colony. Wow,
That's
it's like
real.
a whole city.
yeah, I got about 9 to 10 cats. I try to take care of out front and out back. So I'm an animal lover. Can't help it.
If anybody messes with those cats, ooh, you got fire and fury coming for you.
No, I even told my brother jokes around saying, "Oh, I'm gonna throw Onyx out on the street." I said, "No, I will kill you for this cat." Very honest. I will kill you.
Chat says they love the cat colony, cat citizens. Yeah, they're big.
Cat citizens.
How about you, Morgan?
They don't pay taxes. They're a bunch of moochers.
Or is that your take on cat colonies? Are they?
Listen, I have a cat. I love my cat. I love Nova's cats. But I can't do that many cats. Your girl's got allergies.
Oh,
Exactly.
You got to limit, huh?
Yeah, because actually it's funny right now. Blanca's in here with me right now, just looking at the TV. So,
What's she watching?
she's watching NXT. So
That sounds
There
about
you
right.
go.
real.
She's getting ready to watch some tape for her debut at some point. Love
I
this
see a
picture.
cat wrestling in the ring is the day I retire.
That
Listen,
should,
That's better than me. It's got twice as many legs.
that should replace the puppy bowl. Is that cat wrestling?
Oh my
you know?
God.
I would watch the hell out of cat wrestling.
The furry rumble
Same.
is what we should have. Furry rumble might have a different. You might get a different audience for that one.
It's
You
the
gotta be
furry
careful.
rumble.
Yeah,
The furry rumble. Yeah, I might get a different audience.
yeah. You might get. Oh, this is not the furry. This is not what we thought it was gonna be. This photo is just so legit right here. The 3 champions of Mission Pro. Love this photo. What's going on in this photo when this photo was taken? I mean, this is kind of like at the tail end of 2024 Mission Pro, and just 3 badasses right there.
So this is right after we finished with the last show. Obviously, we had just won the belts there. And, we had to get a picture with Izzy. And, I didn't know the next time we were going to see her. So, like we said, you take the pictures of the people because you don't know what's going to happen. But I just felt like it was, important to immortalize the 3 of us at like the end of this era of Mission Pro going into the next one.
Yep, I agree.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the awesome way that you won. I mean, we all saw it, whether in person or on TitleMatchNetwork.com. But we got to see, and again, as I predicted, not knowing this was going to happen. But that was where I was putting my chips. I said they're going to win this cup, because the odds were stacked in your favor. I mean, come on. I mean, the two of you are like a tandem tag team of towers of destruction. And then showing up right at the end of the match with Red Hot versus the King Bees. Once you showed up, I knew it was over. I said, let's go. And I popped big time. So this was your plan, and the plan worked. It's like one of those times where pro wrestling works out in an awesome way. I mean, this was such a cool way to end the 2024 season. So what was going through y'all's minds, and how did it feel at the end to hold up those tag team title belts?
Like for me, it was an easy thought because we both wanted it. We both wanted something, and we're going to take it, no matter who we take it from. Our plan was to basically get the King Bees and Red Hot where we wanted them, and we just took what was truly ours. Easy to say. That's right.
And with it being the last Mission Pro show for the foreseeable future, we weren't about to hang on to a trophy. We were going to hang on to one trophy for the foreseeable future. We're going to hang on to two separate trophies in the Mission Pro Tag Championships. And I think a plan was executed very well, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. And you didn't, and you were smart because you didn't cash in early, while they were still fresh. You waited till they both had beat the crap out of each other and were blown up. And then boom, it was over. And again, they Phantasm says, "Well, y'all deserved it. Absolutely, you guys earned it." I think, and a little bit of back trivia too. We've talked about this before, Morgan. But Morgan, you were actually Nova was actually your first opponent. Is that correct?
That's
when you
correct.
Started. So how did that go? And how has that helped you guys as a tag team?
So I would say it's like throwing somebody in the deep end, like with a pack of sharks. Because I mean, out of all the people they could have thrown me in there with, they throw me in there with Nova. That's fun. But I learned that day that she hits hard. Listen, she put me away with a power bomb off the top rope for my very first match, and a mutual respect kind of started to form there. We wrestled each other a trillion more times. We body slammed each other on the floor. We wrestled for belts, like all over the place. Everybody wanted to book us against each other. But I think it helped us become a better team in the long run because we have that history, that we know each other's movesets so well that finding that mesh between us was really easy.
And in a landscape that doesn't have a whole lot of tag teams, it's really hard to book women's tag team wrestling in the Indies. It's becoming less, or maybe it's not anymore. I mean, there seems to be a growing number of awesome tag teams out there. What about, you also still go for your singles runs? Do you guys show up in each other's corners when you have a singles match, or is that a little bit more difficult to coordinate?
I think it's a little bit more difficult to coordinate personally, just because we're both so all over the place. But obviously we have each other's backs from a distance. Regardless, we've got each other's backs.
Yeah, I agree.
And I gotta ask, why are the teams like the Money Birds ducking you guys? Like, you guys kind of have an open.
Know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think I do, but I just want to put it out there. Like, teams like Money Birds. I know that Spark the World, Jada Stone and Maya World, no strangers to Mission Pro. There's a lot of talk, but whenever Fire and Fury come up, they kind of get quiet. And it's interesting. So what are your thoughts? What do you think, Nova? What do you think's going on with that?
For me personally, I just think they're scared. So don't get me wrong. I've been in the ring with Maya World, Gigi Ray, Lady Bird Monroe, or Monica Monroe. I'm not sure what she calls herself now. I'm sorry.
It's the full thing. It's like a pimp named Slickback. You have to say the whole thing. Lady Monica Monroe, whatever it is.
So, like, don't get me wrong, I've been in the ring with a lot of them. They're hellacious athletes. But like I said in our little promo that me and Morgan did about a month or so ago.
Listen, every time, together.
Yeah. They when Fire and Fury issue a challenge, nothing happens. But all the tag teams talk. We all see that. But then when we say, hey, you want to challenge us? We'll give you a free shot at the title. There.
Good.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I got a hair appointment that day. I gotta take the trash out and.
I gotta go walk my goldfish.
Yeah. Charles in the chat wants to know what your finishers are, and have you developed some? I've noticed one that's similar to the Hart Foundation's finisher, but with a little twist to it. But what you guys have been working on some finishers and signatures and tag team finishers. Charles B wants to know what those are.
So we've got a couple. Obviously, we don't do anything minimally. Like we always do it the most extra way possible. What's the most violent? What's the most powerhouse, destructive way to get the point across? But currently we've been using a double choke slam, and we have dubbed that overkill.
Yep.
Great.
It's a double sit-out choke slam. Listen, it's different.
And Angel is no stranger to you guys. She's been at so many of the Mission Pro events. But Angel, are there questions you might have for the Sisters of Destruction here?
So, like, if y'all had to pick, like, a favorite moment of, like, all of, like, the Mission Pro shows, it could be from a match or just, like, in general. I mean, this might be a pretty straightforward answer, but I'm not sure. What would y'all both have to say, just, like, would be y'all's favorite, like, moment of Mission Pro?
Like, one of our moments or, like, everyone's in general?
I think it's any moment, yeah.
Like one of y'all's moments in general. So.
I mean, the obvious first answer is winning the Mission Pro tag titles.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Listen, we literally just talked about it. It was a huge moment. The last show for the foreseeable future, winning the trophy, cashing in later that night. But if I had to pick other than that, I think I would stick relatively recent. I think when Izzy won that title, that was a huge moment.
Like, we both were watching that night.
Yeah. And listen, she's a kid, so she knows better than to step to me, but I'm so proud of her. Like, she has come so far in such a short amount of time. And especially doing that and, like, being a teenager, like, I couldn't have done it.
She really has put in the work. Yeah, she's and one could argue she had a lot to shake off because there were, she started out as the crying girl in NXT that Sasha Banks stole her bow, and then she had the hot tag with Izzy, and so there was a lot of social media stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that she had to prove. She almost had to work, I would say twice as hard, but she really had to put the work into to earn that peer respect and the fan. And she's busted her butt for this whole time. And I feel like not just winning the title, but also that final match with Thunder Rosa, I felt like that was like putting that nice little bow on that was almost like that legitimized her title defense. And now she's been, like you all have been defending the title, and even with Mission Pro on hiatus. And I feel like that's, again, that's what you want out of your champions, is you want that representation, and it does seem to be a quality that Mission Pro embraces, is being someone that's willing to put in the work. Have you guys seen that in locker rooms that you've been in, and how important is it to be, to look for that peer support rather than people stabbing each other in the back, but having that supportive locker room, lifting each other up and, being happy for each other, celebrating each other's victories? Yeah, Nova, I could start with you.
I think, honestly, having a supportive locker room, especially in big moments, is amazing, because it's stabbing people in the back doesn't get you anywhere. That people seem to think it does. It really doesn't. The whole vibe is to build and help each other. If we help each other, we get better as we go along. So I think having a supportive locker room is the number one thing you need in wrestling. And I hope everyone gets that, because there's some places that don't even do that.
And then to build on that, I mean, I've told people before, Mission Pro is one of my favorite locker rooms to be a part of, because it's just like women supporting women, and like we're all such badasses, and you know, we're all working harder to get to that next level. And to Nova's point, like, stabbing people in the back gets you nowhere. In fact, it might actually hold you back.
Yeah.
Because people remember that shit, you know? Like, people remember the things that you said to them, the things that you've done to them. But we're all at the same level. We're, you know, on the same show as in Mission Pro. You know, there's definitely a camaraderie that comes with that. You know, sharing a locker room is a huge part of that. And yeah, just being able to support each other, it's huge.
Got a comment from the chat. Stephanie Treadaway says Morgan is a mentor and supporter of indie wrestling. I think the same can go for Nova as well. So the Barbarian and the Ranger, both of you.
Are those our D&D classes? Because I didn't sign up for that.
That could be. The women's wrestling has kind of evolved over the years, and there's still people, you know, the people calling women's wrestling the popcorn match in a given event or what have you. But what Angel and I talk about all the time is, in a given event, it's a lot of times the women are stealing the show. I always talk about this. I went to this independent show in New Bern, North Carolina. It was this community center. I'd say there was probably 150 people in attendance, and there was only one women's match. But that women's match was like WWE, AEW level, top tier wrestling. They were doing off the top rope. It was a girl with a gypsy gimmick versus kind of a girl that would fit in with both of you. But you know, the Barry Manilow, Kenny G, you know, that kind of stuff. But
brother, you're real brave behind the screen.
They stole the show, and what I loved was what you could see the guys that hadn't gone on yet peeking around the curtain, going like, we got to step this up if we're going to try to even compete with that. And so,
man, that's not even uncommon. Like, I've been on multiple shows where the women have stole the show.
Oh yeah.
You feel like we're starting to get into a women's wrestling renaissance, or is there still a lot we need to do, or are we getting to a point where it's just badass wrestling all around, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan as well as a women's wrestler? Morgan, we can start with you.
So I would say we've been in a women's wrestling renaissance. I would say probably over the past, almost 10 years now. Like, women's wrestling has come so far. Like you said, the popcorn match or the, bathroom break.
Yeah.
And those women were working just as hard, but now we're getting the recognition that we rightfully deserved in that moment. And now the women are putting in just as much work, if not more, because, we have that barrier to overcome as well. But yeah, like, I think there's just so much awesome women's wrestling happening right now that it's just getting a lot more recognition.
Absolutely. Nova, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I agree with Morgan. It's I would say a little bit more than, I'll say about 15 years. I've been wrestling a little bit longer. But
that's fair.
Like she said, they've just gotten like, there's women for the past years been busting their ass, getting the work in, and selling the show, but they never got the recognition because they were women. But now, years later, their hard work is helping us get the recognition that they deserve. And now we're, like you said, stealing the spotlight. We're stealing the show, and Hell, we're even main eventing shows now.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, yeah, we've already been in this renaissance. It's just now us women are taking over, and the guys gotta need to step up. Straight up honest.
Sorry, guys. It's time. You gotta step it up. You gotta.
Yeah,
now you gotta catch up.
They know every time we're on a show. They're like, ah, cool. We get to follow that. That's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still so much that still needs to be done, and for women in wrestling in general. But that doesn't negate all the awesome progress that has been made. That was the other point I was trying to remember.
Who have been some of like we talked about Jazz earlier, the Phenom. Who are some of the other legends that you guys look up to and look at and living legends or some that have passed? Who are some that you think of as for inspiration, or hey, I want to be like them, like a Lou Fisto or somebody?
Go ahead, Noah.
So y'all saw that me and Morgan did a little tribute to Bull Nakano.
Yes.
One of the most feared women in professional wrestling. I guess some of her, like her aggressiveness, her tenacity, and she's very mean. And that's what we loved about her. For me personally, of course, like Jazz, if y'all know Sarah Del Rey, I watched her. Some of y'all may know her as Sarah Amato, the head female coach of NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Her, Mischief, God, I'm older, so y'all may not know who they are. Medusa, she was another one. For me, I actually liked Molly Holly, if when she was a heel.
Listen, I'll forever respect Molly Holly for sacrificing her hair.
Yeah.
Right?
So
how about you? Oh, go ahead, Nova.
No, you're good. But it is women like that who, like, they gave their all into everything they ever did. That's what stood out to me the most.
For sure. I mean, second to all those people, but add Victoria to the list.
Mm-hmm.
I see she wrestles here and there. If putting it out in the universe, we could ever make that happen, I would love to get that opportunity. It could be a tag situation. Hell, we could both take her on. I don't even care.
Victoria and Molly Holly. We'll get him book that match.
Perfect. Done. But yeah, Victoria's on that list. Luna Vachon is on that list because come on.
Yeah.
We love the crazy.
She was a Kenny G fan too, and a very manly
I can
fan.
see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always came out to Kenny G.
I always liked I when I was a little kid, and this is probably why I'm such a big fan of women's wrestling. I was a big fan of Glow Wrestling, the original Glow.
Yes.
I mean, I love the Netflix show that they did, but I liked like Heavy Metal was was a team, a Spike and Chainsaw.
I saw them after the fact of like when like I started wrestling and kind of became them, and I was like, oh shit. It's good to know.
You got the spirit there. I also like Matilda the Hun, Dee Boer, she actually was in Spaceballs as well in the movie Spaceballs.
Who was she in Spaceballs?
She was the bearded lady. Yeah, I'm the bearded lady. Who are you? One of the freaks? And then she pushes him aside. But she was such a great heel because she would like make kids cry, she would come down with like a big piece of meat and just like eat it and then go and scare kids like. I don't know. I kind of thought that was
pretty. Well, Morgan don't need help scaring somebody. Scares the crap out of a guy at her own promotion. Remember your little friend at NPA? Scares an old man half to death every time.
The only reason I didn't is because we were chained together and Nova yanked my ass back.
He was already peeing
like a dog.
That's one for the dirt sheets. A man suffered a heart attack by being scared to death by Morgan Mercy at an independent
I didn't touch him, so I signed up.
Courtney's got a question. Courtney's got a question in the chat. If there's a movie, if you guys were a movie, if they're going to make a movie about Fire and Fury, the movie, what would be the title? And I mean, you got to play yourselves. We're not going to cast this with anybody else, but what would be the movie? What would be the title, subtitle, and
I picture like a Thelma and Louise style, but like
Yeah.
more explosions.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
Yeah.
Thelma and
It's
Louise,
just Fire and Fury.
done by Michael Bay. You know, or, no, Michael Bay would use too much CGI. Who's the guy that does who did Face Off? Well, the action.
I don't remember.
Not Ang Lee. It's something like that. Tell us in the chat if you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it'd have to be somebody, not Michael Bay, but somebody that does real live effect explosions.
Oh yeah. Why not?
Robert Rodriguez or somebody like that. Like
Ooh, Robert Rodriguez is good.
We could, and the plot would be part Thelma and Louise and part Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but Fear and Loathing at Buc-ee's. Which one of you would be Hunter, and which one of you would be Dr. Gonzo?
Dr. Gonzo?
Yeah.
I think I probably would be Hunter. I don't know. Nova gives me Dr. Gonzo vibes. That was a little more chill. I'm the erratic one.
Well, as your attorney, I advise you to, not scare the old man half to death.
Can't stop you.
Angel, before we test their knowledge, do you have any other questions for the badass tag team on the planet?
So, like, I know that y'all have lived through a lot of women's wrestling. So, if you had to pick, like, any promotion, any moment at all that you've seen from women's wrestling, what would be, like, your all-time favorite moment in women's wrestling? We can start with Morgan.
I always go back to this moment where we were just talking about it with Molly Holly, WrestleMania 20, with the only reason that the women's championship got on the, on the card at all was because they did it as a hair versus hair. And I will forever respect those two for, like, literally they're like, how do we get this title on the show? And that, that being the ultimate, solution to that. I think that just shows, like, your dedication to wrestling and dedication to your craft. Like, I know it's hair and it all grows back, but, like, listen, you're like, I got to do whatever it takes because I'm trying to get this spotlight. And I can respect that.
True.
Big time.
What about you, Nova?
For me, honestly, it's probably when, some of y'all may know, may not, Shimmer Women's Athletes, when they started their very first show, oh God, many years ago, they defied the odds. Yeah, they're not running anymore, but they showcased women and only women, just like Mission Pro does now. Mm-hmm. They're one of the first few promotions who dared just use women and not use men at all. And for me, I respect that because they wanted to show that women can be just as good as men and drawing crowds, which they did. And I think they have like 100-something volumes now. I'm not sure how many shows they had, but that moment stood out with me most of all, just getting the women the chance to showcase in front of everybody. So.
I've heard a lot of people make the argument that good storytelling really helps build a match, but again, what I think a lot of times people don't get to see or don't give enough credit to, and especially with independent wrestling, because a lot of times you're coming in and this is the first time some people are seeing you ever, and so you really can't have like there's no like weekly show that's building up to something, so you have to do a lot of storytelling in the ring, like emote and. How important and what is the art of storytelling in the ring, and what are some things that are important to remember when you're telling the story as a match, as the art form?
So I can summarize it in like one sentence, and it's just make it all make sense, because that's 90% of our job is right. Like you said, it's people seeing you for the first time. They have no idea. They don't even know the person you're wrestling. They don't know why you're wrestling. You both happen to be booked on that show at the same time. So here you go. Here's the women's match. And that's really fun for me because then it's like we figure out what is the story that we're telling in this match. with us, a lot of times it's the David and Goliath, right? Like we're huge. They got to cut us down.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. But it's so important because, like you said, it's like it is the heart of wrestling in that it makes you care about the match without you realizing why you care about the match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add to that, Nova?
No, that's pretty much it. Make it make sense and tell a good story as you do it, pretty much.
Love it. I love that David and Goliath comparison, especially. But there are a couple teams, like I know the Smothers sisters are out there, the Smothers daughters are out there. They might be some that might show up on the radar at some point down the line. We'll see. Angel, you got anything else for Fire and Fury before we put them in the hot seat?
Okay, one more quick question before we do that and have a little bit of fun here at the end of the show. What would be like any advice that you would give to someone who is trying to get into wrestling? They might not really know like what they want to do. Like they might be going to like some shows, or they might be just watching and think, I think I might want to do this, but I'm not really too sure, and like they don't know how to get into it. What kind of like advice would you give to them? We can start with Nova.
My advice would be, first of all, you can do anything when you put your mind to it. Second, find a great school that is recommended. I would ask around, see where there's some great schools. There's a bunch here in Texas that I highly recommend anybody to join. And get ready to work, because if you don't, it's going to eat you alive.
That word is all the time.
Yes. So for me, it's you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't. Find a good school, because if you get to a horrible school, it's not going to work for you. And be ready to work, because if you don't work your hardest, this business will eat you alive. Straight up honest. Morgan?
So I'll give you the same. I'll give the same advice that I was always given. Whenever I ask this question, everybody always says, "Don't." Because it does put a lot of wear and tear on your body. Like, I don't know if people realize like exactly, how physically grueling a match can be.
It is.
But it's also super rewarding. Like even like personal journeys, like professionally, like I've been able to go places that I would have never gone otherwise. I've been able to do things I would have never done otherwise.
Yeah,
so it does open a lot of doors.
Like seeing the babies at the top of the mountain there. You got to see them. The mannequins at the top of the mountain.
See, exactly. You get to go see the babies. You get to do all sorts of crazy stuff. You get to make the best advice that I was ever given when it comes to wrestling is the reason, like, it doesn't matter, like, whether you're trying to go to WWE, AEW, ROH, even if you're trying to stay on the indies, it's all about like the stories that we make along the way. Because Nova can say every time wrestlers get together, what do? We start telling each other stories. We're like, I was this one time up there in West Texas, and I'll tell you, it's that's all it is when you're hanging out with wrestlers. But it's like being part of a big family that half the people you can tolerate, half you can't. It's just a giant family. But yeah, like Nova said, putting in the hard work, that's so paramount to that, because the work never stops. If like you think you're done with training, then now you're working matches, and now you're trying to get higher on the card. There's always another level above it, but the work does pay off. And the work is the biggest part of that. So if you've got the heart and you've got the work ethic, and you can, like, you can do things that you wouldn't think you can do. But I don't know, somehow through wrestling, like, you can even go above and beyond that, if that makes sense.
That's awesome.
That's my long, complicated answer.
No, that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic. And now, something even more fantastic. Perhaps your biggest challenge was not winning and defending the Mission Pro Championship, but Now you must face the hot seat. This is in honor of our good friend, Top Rope Squishy, Maddie Anderson, who she has taken a hiatus because she is now a mom. Congratulations, Mommy Maddie. But while she's on hiatus, we've got the hot seat going, and we're going to test the two badass tag team champions of Mission Pro, their knowledge on tag team trivia. It's time for the hot seat.
I was about to say, where are we in that graphic? But
yeah,
hold up.
No, we had to have you guys take everybody else out. So that was almost that was supposed to be symbolic there. All right, so here we go. This is going to be tag team oriented questions. These are 5 questions, and they're supposed to get progressively harder, but I don't know. Sometimes they don't. But we're going to see what your tag team trivia knowledge. You guys answer in tandem. You guys can work together to come up with a final answer that you both agree on. And here we go. The first question is question number 1. Who were the first ever Mission Pro Wrestling tag team champions? Was it the Renegade Twins? Was it Bougie Reality? Or was it the Twisted Sisters? You guys can talk about it.
This is the Renegade Twins?
I think it's the Renegade Twins, because I don't think the Twisted Sisters were Mission Pro tag champs.
Yeah.
That I can remember. I also hit my head a lot. I think final answer, we go with Renegade Twins.
Renegade Twins is your final answer. Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. They were the inaugural tag team champions. Very good. Excellent job. Yeah, all right. 1 point. All right, Angel's got question number 2.
All right, question number 2. What event did the Mission Pro Tag Team titles debut? Was it Genesis, Welcome to the Jungle, or Don't Fear the Reaper?
Oh, dang it.
I think process of elimination, we take Genesis out.
Yeah, it wasn't there. Was it the Reaper?
I think it's the Reaper one, too.
I think it's the Reaper.
I think it's Don't Fear the Reaper.
Final answer, Reaper?
Final answer?
Yeah.
It is Don't Fear the Reaper. Look at this. Look at this. You guys are crushing it. 2 for 2. Question number 3. Who has had the longest title reign in Mission Pro Wrestling history so far? Had to add that so far, because
that so far is clutch.
Yeah, that makes this question legit.
I'm gonna need the exact day count after this too, because I need.
Well, that'll be a bonus point if you get the exact day count.
Oh, brother!
But if that's a bonus point. But the question is, who has had the longest title reign in Mission Pro history? Was it longest time? Was it Renegade Twins, Bougie Reality, or Dream World?
I think it's Bougie Reality.
Yeah.
Bougie Reality?
I know Dream World didn't have it very long.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's Bougie Reality. That's my final answer. Is that
your
final answer?
In a couple years, it'll be a different answer. It'll be, Fire and Fury. But for now, as of right this moment, you are correct. 574 days.
Ooh,
we've actually made a pretty good chunk in that so far.
That's the beat at this point. I think you guys are a third of the way there. So we got it's definitely something you can attain. Excellent job. All right, Angel's got question number 4. This is a tough one.
All righty, question number 4. What is that? WrestleMania 6? I'm not going Roman numerals. Okay, at WrestleMania 6. Oh my gosh. At WrestleMania 6, who defeated the team of Andre the Giant and Haku? Was it Demolition, the Rockers, or the Bushwhackers?
I don't think it's not the Bushwhackers.
I would say I would have remembered if the Bushwhackers beat them. I don't think it was the Rockers because I would have remembered that, I think.
I think it's Demolition.
I think that's the start of the long
Demolition,
run.
final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do demolition.
Here comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. Demolition is the answer. 4 for 4. It's time for the final question.
We got harnesses like that.
Ooh. You also come in like a mix of demolition and Legion or Road Warriors. Like you all these shoulder pads like Road Warrior, but different. You know,
I actually have shoulder pads.
No, but we gotta get you some shoulder pads. But Novas are red. Novas has got to be red. Morgans are blue. Like you got to keep the colors.
I already got your red set.
Oh, we got that. That's gonna be so awesome. All right, final question. This is going to be usually the hardest question. It's a big challenge. If you get this, you will be the tag team hot seat champions. And you may have to challenge Callie and Tita for the singles title here as well. Here we go. Final question number 5. Which team has not yet challenged Fire and Fury for the Mission Pro tag titles? Is it the Moneybirds? Is it Spark the World or the Hex? Which team has not yet challenged Fire and Fury for the Mission Pro tag titles? These are 3 active tag teams. Which has not yet challenged Fire and Fury for the Mission Pro
if
tag?
Allison K would have challenged us, I would have known about it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I think it's a trick question, Nova. I think he's lying to us.
Yeah, I think.
What?
That is not challenged us.
Question. What kind of shenanigans do you think I would pull here in the final question?
That's something exactly what you would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's none of them because
I don't think it's
scared.
any of them.
That's my thought.
The team that has not yet challenged Fire and Fury for the Mission Pro Tag Team titles, which means they should be your next victims.
We'll take them
All 3 have not challenged. You
tried to pull some shenanigans on me.
None of them have challenged you yet. So these are 3 teams that we feel should be your next 3 challengers for the tag team title. So you got that correct. None of them have challenged, so all 3 were the correct answer. Moneybirds, I think they're the only ones that kind of responded once to something I put out there, but they quickly got quiet. Spark the World has been running their mouths about a lot of people, but they get quiet when it comes to Fire and Fury. And the Hex, you never know when they might show up, and that's a team. That's a classic team that I think would be a great story match between Fire and Fury and the Hex. That would be, as the man in the black hat says, that would be a slobber knocker right there.
Oh my God! You imagine? That would be.
I even told Morgan, it's like, I want to be in the ring with Allison K. I don't care how. I don't know when.
Too.
I know. I was like, oh, I need to be in the ring with Allison K.
Allison K, Marty Bell. I think we need to get that.
They're awesome together. I love watching them.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Have a message for the Hex, or Lady Bird and Gigi Ray, or maybe Spark the World, Jada Stone, and Maya World. What message would you tell them right now? You have a moment right here to tell them what's up.
Go ahead, Nova. I'll fill in after.
You know what? Y'all are all great tag teams. Don't get us wrong, but y'all do this. This is all you do. But when it's time to step in the ring with Fire and Fury, you run like little dogs. So, put your big girl panties on and jump in the ring with Fire and Fury. Or, are you scared? We'll be waiting. We're right here. We ain't running.
Bro, we ain't hard to miss. Like, I know Spark the World, Moneybird's been doing their thing together, but I think that's just them trying to remove us from the equation. Because if they keep wrestling each other over and over, then they don't have to wrestle us.
Yep.
And frankly, that kind of pisses me off. I want to get in there. I want to beat some people up. I want to get violent.
And I even saw that Moneybirds had tag titles too. I saw that on ROW, Reality of Wrestling.
Sounds like somebody needs a reality check, perhaps.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. But as for a message to any of them, I know they're all busy doing whatever, whenever, running up to OVW, ROW, whatever, what have you. But Fire and Fury are right here at Mission Pro, waiting on our next set of challengers. Anyone, literally it's crickets, anyone that thinks they're brave enough to take us on. They're not going to beat us. That's never happening. But I want someone that at least has like a little bravery, at least a little bit of like, you know what? I'm going to take them on. I can rise to that challenge because I can't wait to squash them into the ground.
No one is safe. Scorched Earth. And as Scorched Earth continues, you both have a upcoming event on the 30th. I think it's the 31st.
Yep.
Is it the 31st
of January?
Now, is it a battle royal, or do you guys have a tag team opponent for it yet, or is it in the works?
That remains to be seen.
Yep.
Hey, Hex.
I will say we are in a match.
Yes, we are in a match. It's all our little birdie told us. So.
In a match to be revealed at some point very soon. Awesome.
VIP wrestling.
I meant to ask this earlier, but Carolina Cruz has a rugby background, and I'm wondering if Nova and Morgan, Morgan, maybe you could captain a rugby team, get Nova out there in the scrum, and maybe see what Carolina can come up with.
Nova, you think your knee can handle that, babe?
Oh, the rugby?
No, my knee can't handle that anymore.
No, in my knee, probably not. Yeah, I both messed up knees, so.
But it is super fun. You get to throw people around and tackle them. It's a real good time.
I've seen like the old school rugby on TV. If it's like that, then hell yeah, me and you Lowen.
I tried out for rugby at my college, and I went to one practice, and it wasn't the practice. The practice was tough. I got my clock rung several times. I almost lost a tooth. One dude would wear a headband, and when he went to get water, he took his headband off, and I saw why, because he had the most gnarly cauliflower ear, and he just would cover it to try to protect his ear. But it was the after practice party we went to where I was like, these dudes are insane. And
rugby is a drinking sport with a rugby problem.
I love that. Courtney in the chat, she said Midrunner's lying. She's probably talking about maybe she's talking about the, I don't know, the
swindle us?
I don't know. She had a match idea for us, though. Maybe it was against me, Midrunner, I don't know. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been awesome to have. I'm so stoked that you guys are killing it as a tag team. I'm looking forward to your next match. Looking forward to 31st. Looking forward to when Mission Pro returns in 2025. I'm enjoying the bodies of the victims that lay in your wake as you continue. And on a serious note, both Angel and I know we're very proud of both of you. We're real excited. I feel like this team has got lightning in a bottle. I feel like there's magic here. And I really feel like the two of you, the sky is the limit with both of you. I'd love to see y'all on some TV. Maybe we put a little bug in Thunder's ear and see if we could get you some reps on AEW. Maybe put some of these AEW ladies in check a little bit. And TNA it would be awesome to see you guys go up against like the Juggernaut and another partner, or Masha Slamovich. And
she's also on my list.
Oh, Masha wrestled a bear once. So
I believe it.
In fact, I had this theory that there's an agreement. I get like there's like there's some kind of Russian god that will destroy the earth if Masha Slamovich doesn't wrestle a match every day, because she's like always wrestling something. It's like even if it's just somebody on the bus, you just let's wrestle. But No, she's been one, and she's been another one of my favorites that I just love to see, and I'd love to see her and a partner. See how she does against Fire and Fury. I know that any of them would be a slobber knocker. Angel, any final words for the most badass tag team on the planet?
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us so much. It was so fun getting to talk to you, and I cannot wait until we get to see each other again at Mission Pro.
Aww.
Likewise.
Same here, huh?
Well, on behalf of Fire and Fury, the Sisters of Destruction, and Angel Marie, I am Mindrunner, and we will see you next time on Mission Pro Spotlight. We'll see you next time.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Awesome. That was so much.